There's a particular kind of exhaustion that doesn't make sense from the outside. The conversation ended hours ago, maybe yesterday, maybe last week, and yet part of your mind is still in that room with that person, replaying the same sentence, the same pause, the same moment on loop. Most people don't see this side of you. For them, the conversation happened once and it's done. But you experience it 20 times. And that's when people make a simple call. You're overthinking. You're reading too much into things. Just let it go. But it's not so simple. Most people assume replaying conversations is just a bad habit, something to fix, something to be embarrassed about. But psychologists keep finding this same pattern in people who are completely different from each other. And what they've discovered about why it happens changes how you see yourself entirely. Big-hearted folks do it. Perfectionists do it. People with social anxiety, trauma survivors, even those with sharp social skills, they all get caught in the same loop. That's not a coincidence. Your brain isn't replaying that conversation because it enjoys the pain. It's doing something stranger than that. It's trying to predict the future. Will they think differently of me now? Did I miss something important? Is there a problem I haven't seen yet? That's not overthinking. That's a mind trying to protect itself from being caught off guard. Uncertainty throws a wrench in the works, and nowhere does uncertainty hit harder than in social situations. A text can be vague. A look can be unclear. Silence is hard to read. For some, these moments fade out naturally. For others, the brain circles back, searching for answers that aren't really there. In social psychology, there's this idea called the spotlight effect. People wildly overestimate how much others notice and remember what they do. Study after study shows we think everyone's paying close attention, but honestly, most people are too busy replaying their own tapes. That fumble you've obsessed over for 3 days, that offhand comment, the moment you were sure everyone noticed, odds are the other person forgot about it before dinner. Not because they didn't care, they're just tangled up in their own memories, their own missteps, their own uncertainties. When you realize that, it's a little shocking. The conversation on loop in your mind might not exist anywhere else at all. But this pattern didn't appear out of nowhere. For a lot of people, it started much earlier, in a house where the atmosphere could change without warning, where someone could be warm in the morning and completely unreachable by evening, and nobody ever explained why. So you started watching, not consciously, just watching. The way someone's shoulders tensed before they spoke, the slight change in how your name was said, the silences that meant something different depending on the day. You got very good at reading the room because reading the room wasn't optional. It was how you stayed one step ahead. And the nervous system remembers that, even years later, even when you're safe now, even when the person you're analyzing is just a coworker who replied with a short text. That kind of attention sticks, quietly shaping how you move through every room, every conversation, every relationship, long after the original situation is gone. Maybe you've always assumed that replaying conversations means you're socially unaware. Often, the opposite is true. People who replay conversations tend to notice more than most. Subtle changes in energy, small inconsistencies, emotional undercurrents. The strength and the burden come from the same place, the ability to notice more. Because when you notice more, you also have more to process. The same sensitivity that helps you understand others makes it harder to turn off the analyzing. Which brings up the question that nags at most people. Why can't I stop replaying this? Ironically, your mind keeps chewing over the conversation because it thinks the next replay will finally bring clarity. That this time you'll find the answer. But relationships, people, they're never perfectly clear. Usually, there isn't a secret message or sudden realization that ties everything up. Sometimes the only way the replay fades is when you stop chasing certainty. Maybe the goal was never to eliminate this habit entirely. Maybe it was just to understand what it was trying to do. Because once you understand that, something shifts. You stop treating the pattern like evidence that something is broken in you, and you start seeing it for what it actually is. The mark left behind by a mind that learned very early that paying close attention mattered, that reading people mattered, that being ready mattered. That's not a flaw, that's a story, and it's been yours all along.